Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest Power Up series by Topstep for SuiteProjects Pro. I'm Ron Breaux, CEO. Thanks for joining. For today's Power Up, we're going to talk about resource management views. So inside of SuiteProjects Pro, formerly OpenAir, there are lots of views, and the views can vary in benefit depending on what you're trying to accomplish within the resource module as well as across resources. So we're going to take a look at some of the views here and talk about the ways we see customers benefiting from these views. So the views we're going to look at is the list view, the worksheet view, the chart view, the planner view, and the project center view. So we'll start off under the role of resource manager or department manager, someone responsible for managing resources across all the projects that they're working on. For those roles, you would live in the resource module. So we're going to go directly into the resource module, and here we can see some different views. So let's start at the list view. The benefit of this list view is the ability to filter down to certain bookings or allocations and be able to take action as needed. For example, here we're filtered on Beth on a particular project, and let's say we needed to swap Beth out or we needed to push Beth out some period of time. By filtering on checking the box and taking an action, I can come in here to this bulk view, and here we can delete allocations or bookings, we can swap resources, and we can bulk confirm or tentative confirm booking types. We can also move it out, and I see this a lot where customers are moving out, and it's in most cases it's more than just the one resource. If we clear Beth from this project, we can see a list of resources, and if the project is delayed and we need to push out everyone by a week, then we can come in here and quickly do that, and it becomes very efficient to come push everyone out 7 days. It is a 7 days, so 7 days a week, 14 days, 2 weeks, etc. So there's some real benefits to this. The downside of this view is it really doesn't give you any indication of how busy someone is. It's more about, being able to take bulk action, swap resources, and see the raw data from the booking. If you want to be able to see more of a view around availability, then there's a few views that we'll take a look at. The planner view is a Gantt sort of view based on people's availability. So if I collapse this view, now I can see my different resources and their different capacity over to here and be able to see quickly and drill down. So for example, if I wanted to drill down into Lila, here I can see which project Lila is working on. You can also take, if it's set up correctly, you can also take bulk actions here as well. So if I come in here and do bulk actions, I could swap this project and move it from Lila to someone else. I can move things out. Same list of actions we just saw in the list view. You also have drag and drop capabilities in this view, as well as inline editing if you wanted to update dates. So again, it's a great view for seeing resources, and you can look at this view on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, or a daily basis. In addition to this view, you can actually look at it from a customer and a project perspective, in addition to being able to look at it. So in this case, I can quickly look at by client, by project, and quickly see kind of a Gantt view of the resources and who's working when across this different project. So another nice view of the data. The next probably more popular view is the worksheet view. So this is really a spreadsheet view that shows you different resources. In this view, you can change the view by clicking on the wheel. You can look at this view in lots of different time periods. You can look at this view in lots of different filtering. So if you manage a particular department, you only want to see your department or practice or any of these other filterings, you can go in and you can filter out different data sets. and then be able to see the view. In this case, we're looking weekly, starting with a particular day, and we're going out 8 weeks. And here I get a sense of, which resources are scheduled. So here I can see Ed has got 45 hours and then 40. And then maybe I want to update, week over week, add hours. Excuse me, starting over. Maybe you want to add hours, update hours, and you can do that by project for each resource that shows up in the view. And then once you're done, you can save it. You can also swap between looking at this from an hours perspective to looking at this from a percent perspective. So quickly again, you can see who's underscheduled, overscheduled, or just right. The last view within the resource module is the chart view. This view also needs to be set up. It does not come out of the box set up, and the setup here is under the settings link. And here you can set it up to see what do you want to see. We recommend daily because there's some benefit to daily. It does give you the hovering capabilities to see what's going on. And then there's some other settings that we typically recommend to our customers. You can change color coding, which does impact also the planner view, and some other advanced filters. But once you have the chart set, this is again another color-coded view of resourcing across the different periods, as well as identifying, where it's confirmed. If you're using booking types, you can use confirm versus tentative, time off, and again, being able to see the different colors accordingly, as well as seeing what is open. And you can also see by setting it daily, I have hovering capabilities. And from here, you can also drill down into this view and see the data underneath and make adjustments if need be. So from a resource manager perspective, other than reporting of all this data and dashboards, which we certainly can create, you're going to live in the resource module, making updates, assigning resources, and making changes. If you are a project manager and you have the ability to manage your project team, then you will more than likely live on the project in the project center. So if we get out of the resource module and get into the project center, we're going to jump into a project. And here we'll jump into the project center. So very similar to the worksheet view, I can see all the resources, whether they're booked or allocated to the project or they're booked or allocated down to the task. You can do both. The booking type is inline editing, so you can make those changes. You can update dates, and then you can also go month over month or week over week. So this is either a monthly view or a weekly view, where you can make changes, you can extend schedules. So if you wanted to go ahead and drag and drop, you have inline editing to make changes. You also can quickly see availability. So if I go in and I wanted to take and, go ahead and book Joan out for this week for 40 hours, or for this month rather, for let's say 80 hours, you can see now that without even saving, I have overscheduled Joan by 20 hours for the month of April. So maybe I need to go find a different resource, or I need to go in and move things off of Joan's calendar, talk with her resource manager. So the planner view is the project center view is a great view. It marries the resourcing along with the project plan, gives project managers a way to see availability, make changes week over week or month over month, and then be able to see those changes and how it impacts their project. If you're using scheduling here and you want the scheduling here to also impact your project plan, there is a setting that you can put on the project properties. If I go ahead and save this. And the setting basically is base your project plan on bookings. What this allows you to do is move your resources, and as resources are being moved, the start and end dates, the start and finish dates on your project are managed by the earliest booking and the latest booking. So another way to manage your project by managing your resourcing and have the project follow the resources. And thanks again for joining. Again, I'm Ron Breaux. We're TopstepLLC.com. If you have any questions or want to find out more, there's plenty of ways to reach out to us.